Yes, well, we had our first meeting, I think maybe it was August last year, and at the coffee house, and had a great meeting with some of these members here on the council, and um, Christina Kreisel's there, and we just, took a tour of the village and got a sense of what you were looking for. And then prepared a proposal. And at that point, we heard back. I forget exactly when, but we came down to a formal meeting. This was actually pre-COVID. I believe it was early March. I believe it was early March, or maybe actually it was St. Patrick's Day. That was it. And we met at the village hall, and we explained in further detail. And basically, we're really helping create a visioning. We'll prepare some studies. We wanted to meet with. I think there were 4 or 5 people that we thought would make sense to meet with, and take another tour, and get a more clear snapshot of what the downtown vision should include. And but from there, basically, we're going to prepare some sketches and tools. I just use the term sketches and drawings, that are tools that will help further along a lot of what you've been talking about, but further along specifically the downtown main corridor. And we talked also about adding some of the alleyways and some of those bridges to the neighborhoods. So on top of that, we were also going to start the process, I call it, of creating some language for design guidelines. And I've been hearing a lot of that. That's primarily a lot of what your meeting has been about this tonight. And having design guidelines will really be useful for you as you begin to, steer the desire for improvements and into the village. So that's, in a nutshell, what I believe it was charged to do. I'd like to introduce my
yes,
Dominique, and we work together, and we're very interested or excited to be on board.
Terrific. I appreciate that. And if you could, just for the public's knowledge, Jeff, if you could just give us, I think there are 2 municipalities in particular that maybe you can touch on as to your participation in their revitalization. I believe Beacon was one of them, yes?
Beacon was, yes, very involved with Beacon. I moved my family there in the early, actually mid-90s, and there was just a handful of people beginning to think about the downtown. Beacon today, I think we think of it as, this amazing, this place has turned around. But when we moved there, the main component people thought about Beacon was the prison. Was Fishkill Correctional. That was mostly boarded up. So you just become very involved by default. And but we went through a whole process of Main Street initiatives, thinking a lot about many of the things you were discussing, the proportions of the scale. What if somebody wants to put a 8-story tower here? And these are things that were all thought of in advance. And the other city I've been involved in recently is the city of Newburgh. I work as I'm involved in several projects there, and a lot of, because Newburgh has such great historic stock. I think half the cities on the National Register. It's one of the largest historic districts. But that's also a good thing in terms of that allows historic tax credits. It allows for development and in ways that really will keep the character or elaborate the character of of the historic fabric. So it's obviously a challenge in Newburgh, but I think the village, Monroe, has a great historic value and a central core there that could be really exciting to think about, and gives you a little background.
Yes, thank you. I just want to introduce Dominique. She also came down. Dominique, how are you?
Oh, hi.
She also, good. She actually came down with Jeff to one of our first meetings, and we did the walk together. Is there anything else that you may want to add to this conversation? The board has all gotten and received a package, both in your introduction letter and in your services, Jeff. Is there anything else that you folks want to add for the public and or the boards that are, interest?
Well, I just going back over my notes. I think a lot of the things that will be addressed are on Main. I really want to focus mostly on Main Street, and that's what I understand, and perhaps some, creating some important vignettes of how, may come up as well. But we want to address lighting, overall exterior materials, signage, those important things that I think really give Main Street character. And it's a little strange talking about it in an age that we're living on now, but we have to think forward, and that somehow this will be fine.
And I believe too, when we talk about some of the things, lighting, signage, and so forth, that would lend to another initiative you had actually singled out on your proposal, which was the an architectural design for the downtown, referring to a code.
Yes, we were going to begin, I would say, create some basic formats or look at various other municipalities that have created some design guidelines, and I think those would be important. Begin considering it. I can't say that I'm not promising that we are going to deliver a final. At this point, it's going to be our I think guide suggestions or guidelines. It may it's obviously something that's going to have to get structured over time and rolled into the municipal code.
Right.
But I think it's a place to start.
Sure. Okay. Does the board have any questions for Jeff or Dominique? Okay. Trustee Conklin?
I do not.
Trustee Allen? Okay. Trustee Berenger?
No.
You're good. Okay. I think I'm good for now. She said no. Trustee Hull, did you say no? I'm sorry.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Mayor Dwyer,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I just get Jeff's full name? I wasn't able to get it in the beginning when he was introduced.
So it's Jeff. You want to just spell your name?
Sure. It could be Jeff or Jeffrey Wilkinson. JEFF WILKINSON.
And you're with what firm, sir?
It's called Jeff Wilkinson RA.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a document tomorrow morning. It'll be on your desk.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're good, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Anything further? No. I think we're good, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank you so
All
much
right.
for this evening. I appreciate it. Dominique, thank you so much for jumping in. And